Shalom, Boker Tov.
Shalom,
Shalom,
shalom.
Boker Tov, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to the study. This is the second part of Parashah Re'eh. We're going to be reading in Devarim, Deuteronomy chapter 13 and 14. Okay, we're going to say the blessing and then we'll begin. So we left off on the part that said not to add or take away from the word of Yahweh. So now we're going to go right into Devarim chapter 13, verse 1.
Baruch Yahweh Hambora. Baruch
Baruch Yahweh
Yahweh
Hamora
Hambora Leolam
Leolam
Bae.
Vaed.
Baruch atah Yahweh Elokeinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikohamim. Vanatan lanu et Torato. Baruch
Baruch
atah
atah
Yahweh
Yahweh
Noten
Noten
HaTorah.
HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen.
Chapter 13. When there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he shall give you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder shall come true, of which he has spoken to you, saying, let us go after the other mighty ones, which you have not known, and serve them. Do not listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. For Yahweh your Elohim is trying you to know whether you love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being. Walk after Yahweh your Elohim and fear him and guard his commands and obey his voice and serve him and cling to him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams is put to death because he has spoken apostasy against Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim and redeemed you from the house of bondage, to make you stray from the way in which Yahweh your Elohim commanded you to walk. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst. When your brother, the son of your mother, or your son, or your daughter, or the wife of your bosom, or your brother, who is as you,
Or your friend?
or your friend who is as your own being, entices you secretly, saying, let us go and serve other mighty ones, lo aleinu, which you have not known, neither you nor your fathers, of the mighty ones of the people which are all around you, near to you or far off from you, from one end to the earth to the other end of the earth. Do not agree with him or listen to him, nor shall your eye pardon him, nor spare him, or conceal him, but you shall certainly kill him. Your hand is first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people.
One more.
And you shall stone him with stones until he dies, because he sought to entice you away from Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mizraim from the house of bondage.
Let's hear the verse 10 in Hebrew.
יקום בקרבך נביא או חולם חלום, ונתן אליך אות או מופת, ובא האות והמופת אשר דיבר אליך לאמור, נלך אחרי אלוהים אחרים, אשר לא ידעתם, ונעוף בהם. לא תשמע אל דברי הנביא ההוא, או אל חולם החלום ההוא, כי מנסה אדוני אלוהיכם אתכם, לדעת הישכם אוהבים את אדוני אלוהיכם, בכל לבבכם ובכל נפשכם. אחרי אדוני אלוהיכם תלכו, ואותו תיראו, ואת מצוותיו תשמורו, ובקולו תשמעו, ואותו תעבודו ובו תדבקום. והנביא ההוא, או חולם החלום ההוא, יומת, כי דיבר שרה על אדוני אלוהיכם, המוציא אתכם מארץ מצרים, והפודך מבית עבדים, להדיחך מן הדרך, אשר ציווך אדוני אלוהיך ללכת בה, וביערת הרע מקרבך. כי יסיתך אחיך בן אמך, או בנך או בתך, או אשת חיקך, או רעך אשר כנפשך, בסתר לאמור, נלך ונעבדה אלוהים אחרים, אשר לא ידעת אתה ואבותיך, מאלוהי העמים אשר סביבותיכם, הקרובים אליך או הרחוקים ממך, מקצה הארץ ועד קצה הארץ. לא תובא לו, ולא תשמע אליו, ולא תחוס עינך עליו, ולא תחמול ולא תכסה עליו. כי הרוג תהרגנו, ידך תהיה בו בראשונה להמיתו, ויד כל העם באחרונה. ושקלתו באבנים ומת, כי ביקש להדיחך מעל אדוני אלוהיך, המוציאך מארץ מצרים, מבית עבדים.
Okay. Verse 11, chapter 13:11. And let all Israel hear and fear, and not do any such evil matter as this in your midst. When you hear someone in your cities which Yahweh your Elohim gives you to dwell in, saying, some men, sons of Belial, have gone out of your midst, and led the inhabitants of their city astray, saying, let us go and serve other mighty ones whom you have not known. Then you shall inquire, search out, and ask diligently, and see if the matter is true and established, and that this abomination was done in your midst. You shall certainly smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, putting it under the ban, and all that is in it and its livestock with the edge of the sword. And gather all its plunder into the middle of the street, and completely burn with fire the city and all its plunder before Yahweh your Elohim, and it shall be a heap forever, never to be built again. And none of that which is put under the ban is to cling to your hand, till Yahweh turns from the fierceness of his displeasure, and shall show you compassion, love you, and increase you as he swore to your fathers, when you obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to guard all his commands, which I command you today, to do what is right in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim.
Amen.
Let's hear that.
וכל ישראל ישמעו ויראון, ולא יוסיפו לעשות כדבר הרע הזה בקרבך. כי תשמע באחת עריך אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך לשבת שם, לאמור. יצאו אנשים בני בליעל מקרבך, וידיחו את יושבי עירם לאמור, נלכה ונעבדה אלוהים אחרים, אשר לא ידעתם. ודרשת וחקרת ושאלת היטב, והנה אמת נכון הדבר, נעשתה התועבה הזאת בקרבך. הכה תכה את יושבי העיר ההיא לפי חרב, החרם אותך ואת כל אשר בך, ואת בהמתך לפי חרב, ואת כל שללך תקבוץ אל תוך רחובך, ושרפת באש את העיר ואת כל שללך כליל לאדוני אלוהיך. והייתה תל עולם לא תיבנה עוד, ולא ידבק בידך מאומה מן החרם, למען ישוב אדוני מחרון אפו, ונתן לך רחמים, וריחמך והרבך, כאשר נשבע לאבותיך. כי תשמע בקול אדוני אלוהיך, לשמור את כל מצוותיו, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום, לעשות הישר בעיני אדוני אלוהיך.
Okay, and that is the end of chapter 13. We're going to jump right into Devarim, Deuteronomy chapter 14.
You are the children of Yahweh your Elohim. Do not cut yourselves, nor shave the front of your head for the dead. For you are a set-apart people to Yahweh your Elohim, and Yahweh has chosen you to be a people for himself, a treasured possession above all the peoples who are on the face of the earth. Do not eat whatever is abominable. These are the living creatures which you do eat:
פרק י"ד.
ox, sheep, and goat, deer, and gazelle, and roebuck, and wild goat, mountain goat, and antelope, and mountain sheep, and every beast that has a split hoof divided in two, chewing the cud among the beasts you do eat. But of those chewing the cud, or those having a split hoof completely divided, you do not eat, such as these: the camel, and the hare, and the rabbit, for they chew the cud, but do not have a split hoof. They are unclean for you. And the pig is unclean for you, because it has a split hoof, but does not chew the cud. You do not eat their flesh, or touch their dead carcasses. These you do eat. Of all that are in the waters, all that have fins and scales, you do eat.
Well, one more.
One more. And whatever does not have fins and scales, you do not eat. It is unclean for you.
Right to verse 10, let's hear that in the Hebrew.
בנים אתם לאדוני אלוהיכם, לא תתגודדו ולא תשימו קורחה בין עיניכם למת. כי עם קדוש אתה לאדוני אלוהיך, ובך בחר אדוני להיות לו לעם סגולה מכל העמים אשר על פני האדמה. לא תאכל כל תועבה. זאת הבהמה אשר תאכלו, שור, שא חצבים ושא עזים, אייל וצבי ויחמור, ועכו ודישון וטעו וזמר, וכל בהמה מפרסת פרסה, ושוסעת שסע שתי פרסות, מעלת גרה בבהמה, אותך תאכלו. אך את זה לא תאכלו ממעלי הגרה וממפריסי הפרסה השסועה, את הגמל ואת הארנבת ואת השפן, כי מעלי גרה המה ופרסה לא הפריסו, טמאים הם לכם. ואת החזיר, כי מפריס פרסה הוא ולא גרה, טמא הוא לכם. מבשרם לא תאכלו, ובנבלתם לא תיגעו. את זה תאכלו מכל אשר במים, כל אשר לא סנפיר וקשקשת תאכלו. וכל אשר אין לו סנפיר וקשקשת לא תאכלו, טמא הוא לכם.
Okay, verse 11. Any clean bird you do eat, but these you do not eat: the eagle, and the vulture, and the black vulture, and the red kite, and the falcon, and the buzzard after their kind, and every raven after its kind, and the ostrich, and the nighthawk, and the seagull, and the hawk after their kind, the little owl, and the great owl, and the white owl, and the pelican, and the carrion vulture, and the fisher owl, and the stork, and the heron after its kind, and the hoopoe, and the bat, and every creeping insect that flies is unclean for you. They are not eaten. Any clean bird you do eat, and do not Do not eat whatever dies of itself. Give it to the stranger who is within your gates to eat it, or sell it to a foreigner. For you are a set-apart people to Yahweh, your Elohim. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. You shall tithe without fail all the yield of your grain, and the field fail all the yield of your grain that the field brings forth year by year. Okay, let's hear that in the Hebrew. Verse 22.
כל ציפור טהורה תאכלו, וזה אשר לא תאכלו מהם, הנשר והפרס והאוזנייה, והרעה ואת האיה והדיה למינך, ואת כל עורב למינו, ואת בת היענה, ואת התחמת, ואת השחת, ואת הנק למינהו, את הכוס ואת הינשוף והתנשמת, והכעס, ואת הרחמה, ואת השלח, והחסידה, והענפה למינך, והדוכיפת, והעטלף. וכל שרץ העוף, טמאו לכם, לא יאכלו. כל עוף טהור תאכלו. לא תאכלו כל נבלה לגר אשר בשעריך תתננה ואכלך, או מכור לנוכרי, כי עם קדוש אתה לאדוני אלוהיך. לא תבשל גדי וחלב עמו. עשר תעשר את כל תבואת זרעיך, היוצא השדה שנה שנה.
Verse 23.
And you shall eat before Yahweh your Elohim, in the place where he chooses to make his name dwell, the tithe of your grain, and your new wine, and your oil, and of the firstlings of your herds and your sheep, so that you learn to fear Yahweh your Elohim always. But when the way is too long for you, so that you are not able to bring the tithe, or when the place where Yahweh your Elohim chooses to put his name is too far from you, when Yahweh your Elohim is blessing you, then you shall give it in silver, and shall take the silver in your hand, and go to the place which Yahweh your Elohim chooses. And you shall use the silver for whatever your being desires, for cattle or sheep, for wine or strong drink, for whatever your being desires. And you shall eat there before Yahweh your Elohim, and you shall rejoice, and you and your household. And do not forsake the Levite who is within your gates, for he has no part nor inheritance with you. At the end of every third year, you bring out all the tithe of your increase of that year, and store it up within your gates. And the Levite, because he has no portion nor inheritance with you, and the sojourner, and the fatherless, and the widow, who are within your gates, shall come and eat and be satisfied, so that Yahweh your Elohim does bless you in all the work of your hands, which you do. Amen.
ואכלת לפני אדוני אלוהיך, במקום אשר יבחר לשכן שמו שם, מעשר דגנך, תירושך ויצהרך, ובכורות בקרך וצונך, למען תלמד ליראה את אדוני אלוהיך כל הימים. וכי ירבה ממך הדרך, כי לא תוכל שאיתו, כי ירחק ממך המקום אשר יבחר אדוני אלוהיך לשום שמו שם, כי יברכך אדוני אלוהיך. ונתת בכסף, וצרת הכסף בידך, והלכת אל המקום אשר יבחר אדוני אלוהיך בו, ונתת הכסף בכל אשר תאווה נפשך, בבקר ובצאן, וביין ובשיכר, ובכל אשר תשאלך נפשך, ואכלת שם לפני אדוני אלוהיך, ושמחת אתה וביתך. והלוי אשר בשעריך לא תעזבנו, כי אין לו חלק ונחלה עמך. מקצה 3 שנים תוציא את כל מעשר תבואתך בשנה ההיא, והנחת בשעריך. ובא הלוי, כי אין לו חלק ונחלה עמך, והגר והיתום והאלמנה אשר בשעריך, ואכלו ושבעו, למען יברכך אדוני אלוהיך בכל מעשה ידך אשר תעשה.
Okay, and that's to the end of the chapter. So we can kind of recap and talk a little bit about what we read. So I was thinking right at the very beginning of chapter 13, when he's saying that if someone comes to you and tells you to follow a different God, right? And even if the sign proves to be true, but your ancestors didn't know of him, and it's somebody that's not Yahweh, then you're not to listen to them and not to follow them.
That is something that it happens all the time. Even, for example, to Shlomo, which was a very wise man, it happened to him. The women that he acquired as wives or concubines, they enticed him to go and follow their gods, and he did that after being one of the wisest men on earth. So this is a very serious matter. Abba, I don't know, it's very interesting. I don't know if the concept of idols or gods or Elohim, is not really understood in our cultures. But when you tell people, like let's say Hispanic people, why do you have an idol in your porch or in your house? Abba says not to do that. They say these are not idols, these are statues, and they do not understand the concept of do not make any image or anything that is in the heavens above, on the earth beneath, or in the waters under the earth. Do not bow down to them, or serve them, because I am a jealous Elohim. That's what our Abba says. And people use all kinds of excuses to say, no, I'm not serving it. But the fact that that statue was made to be worshipped, in it takes what I'm trying to say. In it, it's already forbidden. It has already been banned for usage, because it's something that someone made it to be worshipped.
The intention
when
it was made.
Exactly.
The other thing that we really should mention here, that was one of the main parts in chapter 14, was about the kosher animals, the animals that were permitted to be eaten, right? And it lists specifically which ones that they are. Every beast that has a split hoof divided in two, and choose the cud among the beasts you do eat, right? And then it talks about the fish, the ones that have scales and fins, and the birds that are clean and not clean. And there are lots of studies that you can research and look at about why the animals, certain animals are clean and unclean, and it has to do with the way that they are built, the way that they digest their food, that makes it better for you or not good for you, right? the ones that are unclean.
Well,
But regardless of whether, like the health question, the point is obedience.
which is better than sacrifice. And also, for example, here it's very clearly it's not like part of one verse, but one verse itself that it says not to eat pork, not to eat pig, and
So it
people
says it specifically.
specifically,
That's 14:8.
14:8, and the pig is unclean for you. If the one who made our bodies knows what's good for us and what's not, why do we insist in eating what is bad for us? Do we think we have all kinds of diseases and weird infirmities going around just because? Many things are what we eat that is causing those problems. And it tells you here why. And another thing why I tell the people do not eat pork or pig is because the unclean spirits ask to be sent to the pigs. So there is a correlation between the pigs and the unclean spirits that tells you it's not anything good for the human beings to consume.
Yeah. And the plague, for example, are always unclean animals. There's never a plague of clean animals, like frogs in Egypt. That's what I'm thinking of.
Correct.
And so, it's not like you had a plague of, cows or something. That's always unclean, right? And also there's a connection. The reason why it's important, there's a connection between the spiritual and what you eat, right?
Yes.
Between the food
Definitely.
and the spiritual realm. It's like you're nourishing your spiritual person as well.
Exactly. And it's very clear on the beginning of chapter 14 because it says, you are the children of Yahweh your Elohim. Before he tells you anything, you are my children. Because you are my children, there are certain things that you should do and eat. And in another chapter, for example, it tells you how to dress modestly, to do certain things that characterize you as children of Yahweh, which is, I believe, very important because, no one is going to believe to your report or your testimony if you don't do any of these things that Abba says that commands you to do, right? So first of all, he says, you are the children of Yahweh, your Elohim. Do not cut yourselves. And I want to stop there for a minute. Every time that you do a tattoo, you are cutting your skin. There is a small incision, a small cut. And pagans, tattoo their bodies many, many generations before, right? And now there are tattoo parlors or tattoo places everywhere. And it's not a coincidence that this is the time where everything is permitted and where good is called evil and evil is called good, right? And to me, why do you have to put something on your body if our bodies are beautiful the way Abba made them, right?
Yeah, I was looking at that also in verse 14:1, how you were saying, do not cut yourself nor shave the front of your head for the dead, right? So I don't think we've mentioned this before, that he's making a separation between life and death, right? That Yahweh is not the Elohim of the dead, and Yahweh is the Elohim of the living, right?
Amen.
That's what Yeshua said. Yahweh is the Elohim of the living. So he has that separation between death and life. And right now, like, tattoos are like a fashion trend thing, but the origin of the tattoos and cutting, it's related to death. It's connected to death. That's when they would mark themselves for the dead. And so, yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. And also on verse 14, verse 2, it says, for you are set apart people to Yahweh your Elohim, and Yahweh has chosen you to be a people for himself, a treasured possession above all the peoples who are on the face of the earth. So like I said, there are certain characteristics that Abba says we need to portray, that we carry, on ourselves, that makes us stand above the people, not because we are better, but because he wants us to be separated for him, to have certain degree of intelligence to say, um, I shouldn't follow other gods. I shouldn't bow down before an idol. I shouldn't dress in a way that is inappropriate, that I make a man or any other person, have bad thoughts about me and commit adultery with me, right? So these are common sense things, right? And I believe it has to do with fear of Yahweh. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. So he wants us to have that wisdom in ourselves, to be separated. And like I said, it's not to say I'm better than anyone, because some people take it that way. It's not that.
Like self-righteousness.
Exactly. But I want to do it because I serve an Elohim, a Father that is set apart, that is righteous, who loves righteousness, right rulings. And I want to please him, right?
Yeah, and I think, how you were saying that it's not about us being better than anybody else. Yahweh is telling us to be set apart. I think because first he wants us to live, right? And those things that you're telling us to do, that's to give us life and a good life. And also because he seeks that communion with us, right? For us to be reunited with him, together with him. And sin cannot be close in the presence of the Father, right?
That's true.
So we have to be set apart from that. And I think that goes back to the Garden of Eden, right? That there was kind of like that separation between the Father and his creation, right? There was that separation, and now we're seeking to be rejoined, reconnected, to have that communion with the Father the way Adam and Eve did, that it was close. So, and I think
Close
that's part
connection.
that close connection where it describes it like he was walking in the garden with them, like clearly the point is that there was no division. They were connected, right? There was no separation like there is now, because sin separates you from the Father.
And Abba is all the time trying to bring us back to the garden, back to the garden, back to that communion, back to being clean in many ways, in the way we eat, the way we dress, the way we, whatever we do, and overall, the way we think. Because also the thoughts of man, interfere with the relationship that we have with our Heavenly Father. Our thoughts, our imaginations, like in Revelations, it says they didn't repent of their imaginations. So their imaginations, if you see, we were talking with a friend who lives in Colorado Springs. She was saying that it's a very, very good friend of ours from many years. And she was saying how, now you cannot see or watch any movie, any cartoon that doesn't have anything bad or derogatory or violence or some type of language or behavior. Children always screaming, putting down one another, making fun of one another, which is the opposite of what Abba is telling us. Disrespecting the parents, making them feel like fools, like dummies, right? And like if children are smart and parents are dumb. So that is really, really bad what is going on, because that is just permeating the minds of these youngsters to be disrespectful with her elders. And one day we're going to reap the consequences, if not now, right? So it has to do, or being the children of Yahweh, it has to do with being set apart and the way we eat, what we eat, not to eat abominable stuff or things that are going to be damaging our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And also, another very, very important aspect is on verse 23, and you shall eat before Yahweh your Elohim in the place where he chooses to make his name dwell, the tithe of your grain and your new wine and your oil and of the firstlings of your herd and your sheep, so that you learn to fear Yahweh your Elohim always. When we eat, we do it before Yahweh, in a clean conscience. I'm not eating anything that he says is bad. I'm not being disrespectful with my elders, with my parents. I am respectful with my own children, with my daughter, my son, my grandchildren. And at the same time, I'm respecting Yahweh. That's an important thing, right? He sees us as long as you did this unto my children, you did it as unto me. Whatever we do to others, we do it as unto Yahweh, good or bad. Or we eat before Yahweh. When we eat, just remember, you are not alone. You are eating before him. Always acknowledge that you are eating before Yahweh. It's a covenant that we have. We eat for him, we live for him, we walk for him, we speak for him. Everything we do it as unto him. Oh, and something else that I wanted to say. Do not forsake the Levite.
Yeah.
Do not forsake the sojourner, the fatherless, the widow that are in or within our gates. That means your community first. People are going all over the world doing tzedakah, doing charity to people who are far away. What about your community? I'm sure in your community there are thousands of people that are without, and especially children, right? People that have lost their jobs, their economy, came to be bad, and then children are suffering out there on the streets. A lot of youngsters are on the streets nowadays.
Yeah, that was very important, and we've mentioned how you have the opportunity to be used as a vessel of Yahweh. Through you, the blessing goes to that person who is in need, right? And then you get blessed for it. So that's a great blessing, and a way to be able to give, right? And we should not neglect that. I was just going to mention the last thing, chapter 14, verse 22. You shall tithe the grain of your field, and how basically when you're tithe, you're recognizing and you're declaring, right? You're making that statement that the grain that you're receiving, it comes from Yahweh, right? Yahweh gave the ground, the soil, the seed, at the rain that you need, the latter rain, the early rain. And so you're taking this grain and you're making that statement, that recognition that it was something given to you by Yahweh. It's not by your own strength and by your own might, but it's through I'm saying bondad. How do you say that in
goodness?
The goodness of the Father, right?
Amen.
And you're also recognizing him as king over you, right? Like as the sovereign over you, right? So
and that we depend on his goodness. We depend on the rain that he sends. We depend on the sunshine that without it we wouldn't have the harvest. We wouldn't be healthy. And everything that we see around us, let us remember to be grateful for, to be thankful for everything we have. Because when you are in a state of gratefulness constantly, you are happy, right? And you don't have space in your heart to be ungrateful and to be complaining, which is something that Abba doesn't want to hear, the complaint. Let's find ways to be grateful and make a list of all the things that are around you, all the blessings that you receive, even the air that you are breathing that is saying Yahweh free. And, the sunshine, the rain, the family, the children, and overall the salvation of our souls, which is the most important thing, the revelation of his name, the revelation of his kingdom, the kingdom of light, of Or, and his love for us. We cannot give enough thanks for his love that it's abounding all the time. So,
If there's no other comments, we can say the blessing to close.
okay.
Continue next time with the last part, chapter 15, which talked about releasing the debt at the end of 7 years. So that part's really good too.
Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah remeh v'chayei olam nata betocheinu. Baruch atah Yahweh noten haTorah. Amen. Don't
Shalom,
forget
shalom.
these lessons that we learned today, and to be the
Amen.
salt of this earth and to be the light of this world. Amen.
Amen, amen. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.